What is Enough is Enough all about? It's a long-term anti-violence project based on personal responsibility and reform by education. We haven't arrived where we have in society overnight. And if we're going to make some changes, we need to put in place short, medium and long-term goals and work towards those goals. We started looking at what we could do to stop people from becoming victims, which led us into schools, then working with juvenile offenders, then into prison. And then, as a result of what I learned out of that, what can we do to change society's views on many things? And I didn't want to be just another person that talked about change. Of course, we have a world full of them. I wanted to be someone who initiated change. In 1994, my son was murdered during an armed hold-up. And at that time, change, I was full of hate and anger and revenge, and thought that there was still a need to change. Why would a society accept the murder of a young man so readily who had the potential to do something good? So I started asking questions. And the more questions I asked, the more questions I got to ask. And I thought there was a real need for change. And one of the first needs for change I thought was the reintroduction of the death penalty, and went out to promote the concept. But over a series of incidents, if you will, small incidents, I changed my whole concept around that. And I thought that if we're going to talk about peace and harmony within society, how could we then deal with violence by being violent? And my first aim was to help people who had been victims of crime, because I was thrown into a system that I thought would be supportive. And when I say system, some call it the justice system. It's got bugger all to do with justice. Everyone talks about their rights. I am so over listening to people talk about their bloody rights. My rights, this, and we teach it from kids that big. Rights. What about the other side of that same equation, which is responsibilities? You know, prison is full of people that know their rights, yet aren't prepared to accept the responsibilities that come with those rights. All this other crap that's going on about this Charter of Rights, let's get it twisted around so we can start producing some positive outcomes. Because I don't honestly believe that we're going to get positive outcomes from a Charter of Rights. We would out of a Charter of Responsibilities. We started out with Enough is Enough. Somebody said, oh, you know, why don't you go and get a real job? And I thought long and hard about that, because I could probably make a hell of a lot more money doing something else. And no, I actually found my life's purpose. Enough is my way of expressing myself. I like that, the fact that somebody thinks that I'm a rebel, because I frequently refer to myself as the head of the anti-violence group that kicks bums. And that's what we are. What can the people that are watching this do to make the world a better place? Not just their own place, but the whole place. I think there's a lot more people out there that actually have the rebel in them and need encouragement for that rebel to come out. They're bland, they're mediocre on the outside, and yet on the inside there's the rebel struggling to get out. And I would encourage more people to go and find the rebel inside them and get it out there. Nothing happens till someone gets off their bum and does something. Look, I wouldn't do what I do if I didn't think it was making a difference. And I don't know that we're making a big difference, but at least I'm not just sitting on my ass talking about it. I'm actually out there doing something. When you can see how a victim deals with something, and you can see how an offender, you can find a solution within all the challenges that are created there. There is a solution, but it's having a mindset that's capable of seeing something, prepared to develop into something that can produce positive outcomes, and then to pursue that to create the positive outcome in reality, not just in bloody words. And I liken what we're doing somewhat is taking a little rubber duck and trying to move an ocean liner. But once you start to build momentum or get enough strength in the duck, or a big enough duck, you will actually start to move.